Hey everyone, let's go ahead and take the Meepo Classic out for a ride. So this board should get about 11 miles of range, 17 and a half kilometers. I weigh about 151 pounds today. I think that's about 68 and a half kilos. So we'll go ahead, go for a ride, show you a little bit about how it handles on the flat, which is pretty good, and then we'll go ahead and talk about some of the downsides to this board, or they could be upsides depending on how you look at it, but it is a pretty short board, so we'll take a look at some scratches that happen on the ESC casing, the battery casing, things like that, and maybe talk about some ways to fix it. Let's go for a ride. Ooh, did you hear that thunk? That was just coming out of my driveway, which is darn shallow. It's not a curb at all in any sense of the word. Okay, so one or two things that you really need to think about with this board. I mean, it's economical, right? Sitting at $399, might go up to $419 at some point, but it is a truly good deal of board. That being said, Hobbywing ESC, nice smooth acceleration. It is very smooth on the braking. When you are up at speed, you know, others have talked about this, it is not the quickest to brake. You're looking at a pretty extended brake time. The other thing is, with this low deck, I mean, you're gonna scrape those casings, like I said, for the battery case and the ESC. I've seen a couple of videos out there from others that, you know, their boards look pristine on the bottom. Mine doesn't. I've already scraped off the number sticker, all that kind of stuff. It just is what it is. The other thing is, because it is such a low board and it's concave and close to the ground, you do lose a little bit of the flex. I mean, if, you know, when you're jumping up and down on this thing, it'll bottom out. And it is a great ride on the smooth surfaces. Awesome for all of that. It is painful, even just on a sidewalk. So I don't know if you can hear the thud, thud, thud behind the cars right now. I'm just cruising down the sidewalk and, you know, you just feel every single one of them. This stretch that I go down is probably about just half a mile long, and I do this one just about every day. And, ooh, man, you know, I'm gonna get to the end of this, and my feet are just going to be numb, particularly my rear foot, just from the thud and the extra weight of that hub motor. You really feel it. I mean, it rattles all the way through. So that might be a consideration for you. You know, if you do not have nice smooth roads to ride on, it's definitely a thing. So I'll tell you what, this board is an absolute pleasure to ride on when it's smooth. There are plenty of roads here in Florida. You know, you find your way into these little neighborhoods, and it is great. It's a carvy little thing with these custom shredder trucks. You know, some people don't like the bushings and things like that, but again, for $400, just what you get out of it, it's not too bad. You might want to try something else, certainly. It would improve the ride on the board. The other thing that we need to talk about, so let's just stop here real quick and take a look because it's nice and quiet. So if I hop down and just bring the board up here, you can see that we have things like the casing bolts coming straight up in it. So that's fine, right? They're just sitting up there on the deck, and that's all well and good. But I mean, that's right where your feet are. So each one of those bolts, you know, when I was back on that sidewalk there and just thud, 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 you feel those bolts just pushing right into your feet, particularly when you're wearing skate shoes. So you kind of want to feel the ground underneath you. You want it to be a nice ride where you can feel the road. And, oh boy, do you feel it sometimes. Just can't stress that one enough. So beyond bushings, you might want to look at things like shock pads. It might be helpful to you to go ahead and see if there's a truck riser that you like and want to get in there. I think what I'm going to do on this one is I've ridden it around a little bit in just the drop-down form, but I do want to lift it up and see what's going to happen if I actually take those trucks and get them under the board rather than through it. That'll add more than a few centimeters. You know, give me at least another 1.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters of clearance, because there is only about 3.5, maybe 4 centimeters of clearance underneath the battery casing, the ESC casing. But you know, it was made to be ridden and to have fun on. So. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of an incline test too, because you know, we might as well just get it all in today while we're wearing down that battery. So, heading down the other side of that bridge, and just gonna keep kind of braking our way down. But the thing you need to recognize about these brakes, those gaps in the bridge are brutal, is they are not gonna stop you. Like if you're going uphill and you're holding the brake down, they will not hold you at a full stop. I find the thing that happens when I cruise these long flats like this, you know, it's a nice big bulky sidewalk, but even on these, like I said, my back foot particularly, like I've been out cruising this thing every day for you know, about a week and a half now, so I've got a little bit of muscle memory built up around it. And when my back foot starts to go numb like that, it's no good. I lose all my turning control, and got to ride maybe switch a little while, and just to let it kind of come back the other way and have a better go of things. Gotta love those little knobs on the sidewalks, right?